Please, a bus company has small and large buses. Let's just say the ratio of small buses to large buses was 2 to 7. If the company has 84 large buses, how many total buses does it have? How many total buses does it have? Okay. The difference between this and all the ratio stuff that you've done before is ratio stuff you've done before did not have the word total in it. Okay? Did not have the word total in it. You just had your ratio box just included this. This is what it looked like up until this point. I'm comparing small buses to large buses. And I've got my ratio and I've got my actual. Okay, I know that they're what? 2 to 7 was my ratio. So 2 small buses for the 7 large buses. Okay, but does it tell me how many actual small buses there are or how many actual large buses there are? No. The only thing I know, wait, I do know. There are 84 large buses. I know that. Okay. But it doesn't ask me how many small buses I have. It asks me for how many total buses I have. Okay. Well, and Holly's you could do what Holly just said and say, okay, well, I can find out how many small buses I have by just doing this. 7 times what is 84? Times 12. So 2 times 12 is 24. That's one way. But not always is that going to be the way you can do it. What you're going to need to do is instead of having just 2 boxes here, you're going to add a third comparison ratio that is the total. Okay? And here's where people kind of get confused, and I don't quite get why they get confused, but I guess I can see it. If I have 2 small buses and I have 7 large buses, how many total buses in that ratio do I have? 9. So you guys picked it up better than others. Okay, so now here is my total ratio, and I can use that instead of going and doing the small one and then having to add. I could skip this process, not that it doesn't work, but I could use this as my ratio. 7 times 12 is still 84, but 9 times 12 is 108, and that would be my total bus, which is the same thing I get if I add those. But not always is this going to be the easiest way, nor will you be given that information for that. So if you see the word total in there, you're going to have to add a third row in your ratio / actual ratio box / comparison, whatever that thing would be. Kendall?
I have a question. What is that number underneath 84?
108?
And so you multiply 24 times 84 or you add?
You would add these, because if you have 24 small buses and 84 big ones, you would add them together to find how many total buses, not multiply, because you have a lot of buses if you want.
Can't you just add them? Or like that's
could.
a more difficult way?
You could,
Okay.
but not always is it going to be the best way.
Okay.
Here's another one. Write this one down. This one I think you're probably forced to actually do it this way. There were ratio of clowns. Ratio of clowns to oh sure, let's go.
Elephants.
It's a long word, but ratio of clowns to elephants was 5 to 3. If there were a total, if there were a total of 24 clowns and elephants. How many elephants were there? See, now this time you're given the actual total, so that I don't believe there's any other way to do it rather than actually put the whole ratio thing down and make 3 columns here. What am I comparing? I'm comparing clowns to elephants, and then you're going to need to put a total box here. Ratio, actual, 5 clowns for 3 elephants. That makes a total of how many clowns and elephants, Sam Poppin? 8. Which of these 3 do I know over here? Do I know how many clowns, how many elephants, or how many total I have?
24 total.
I have 24 total clowns, elephants. So the ratio is going to be completed by multiplying everything by 3. If you wanted elephants, you'd get 9, 3 times 3. If you wanted clowns, you'd get 15, 5 times 3. They wanted elephants. So there were 9 elephants. It's just a matter of adding an extra box that you can add up and total up as you go. More than anything. It's really not a hard thing. Last one. No, ratio of girls to boys was 5 to 4. Ratio of girls to boys was 5 to 4. If there were 180 students at the assembly, how many boys and girls were there? How many boys, question mark, and girls, question mark. Go ahead and do that for me. Ratio of girls to boys was 5 to 4. If there were 180 students at the assembly, how many girls, how many boys? How many boys, how many girls? I think you did it. Organization is key. We have answers? Alex Bonemer says, how many? How many boys?
For boys, it was 80.
How many girls? Let's check and see here. So if I'm doing the ratio box, I am comparing girls to boys. It was 5 to 4. My total is 9. If I'm adding 5 plus 4 together, that's the ratio. Actually, there were 180 here, so 9 times what is 180? You have to multiply everything by 20. 4 times 20 is 80 for boys, and 5 times 20 is 100 for girls.
Yeah.
Just